the subscribe button if you don't want me to come annoy.
Imagine, if you will, a group of friends drawn back to a place of their past, a place where normality and logic once took a back seat. A forest, which whispers tales of the uncanny, lures them back into its shadowy embrace. This isn't just any old camping trip. This is a return to where the ordinary world once twisted into an unnerving spiral of the unknown. Each member of the group carries a cocktail of emotions. Fear, certainly, for they remember well the strange phenomena they encountered before, but also excitement, a thrill that dances in their veins, a desire to peel back the layers of mystery surrounding their previous experience. They are determined, almost defiant, in their quest to unearth the truth, to see if the forest will again reveal its spectral secrets. As the car pulls up to the forest's edge, an eerie silence descends and our story begins. The forest, once familiar, now seemed alien, its shadows deeper, its silence more profound. The campers, once jovial and unbothered, were now ensnared in the forest's uncanny transformation. The once welcoming trees now loomed ominously over their heads, their limbs contorting into grotesque shapes that seemed almost human. The leaves rustled in a language unknown, whispering tales of dread and despair. The air was different too, heavy and stifling, like a blanket of unease that settled over them. It was as if the forest was holding its breath, watching and waiting. They could feel the aura of the woods change, shift into something far darker than the night that enveloped them. It was a sense of foreboding that was as palpable as the damp earth beneath their feet. Every creak of the branches, every rustle of the underbrush seemed amplified, echoing through the silence with a resonance that sent shivers down their spines. The wind, once a gentle companion, now whistled through the trees with an eerie melody, carrying with it an inexplicable chill. The moon hid behind the clouds, casting long spectral shadows that danced and flickered with a life of their own. The forest seemed to have grown sentient, its every element imbued with an uncanny awareness. The campers could feel the eyes of the forest on them, watching their every move, scrutinizing their every breath. The feeling of being watched, of being hunted, was a constant companion, gnawing at their bravado, unraveling the threads of their courage. A sense of dread hung over them as they set up camp, the once familiar routine now a futile attempt to reclaim some semblance of normalcy. The once comforting crackle of the campfire now seemed to echo the forest's silent laughter, a mocking reminder of their intrusion. They set up camp under the watchful eyes of the forest, oblivious to the spirits they have disturbed. Their laughter echoed through the trees, a stark contrast to the eerie silence, a testament to the ignorance of their situation. Little did they know the forest was alive, and it was far from happy. Night falls, and with it the forest awakens, the spirits stirred from their slumber. As the blanket of darkness descends, the once familiar forest transforms into a realm of the unknown. The rustling of leaves begins, a symphony of the natural world. Yet there isn't a breath of wind, not a single gust to disturb the still air. The leaves whisper secrets to one another, secrets not meant for the living. The campers huddle closer together, the flickering firelight casting long, monstrous shadows that dance upon the canvas of their tents. Their laughter dwindles, replaced by an uneasy silence, punctuated only by the crackling of the fire and the distant hoot of an owl. The air grows colder, a chill that seeps into their bones, a cold that no fire can banish. They find themselves standing on patches of invisible ice, the warmth of their bodies doing nothing to melt it away. Then come the phantom whispers, soft, barely audible murmurs that seem to seep from the very bark of the trees. Words that can't be deciphered, yet carry an undeniable sense of dread. The forest is speaking, its timbre low and mournful, a lament for those who dare disturb its sacred tranquility. As the hours pass, the strange happenings escalate. The rustling grows louder, the whispers more insistent. The cold spots multiply, turning the once cozy campsite into a frozen tableau. The once comforting crackle of the fire now seems like a desperate plea, its flames dancing wildly as if trying to keep the darkness at bay. The campers huddle closer still, their laughter long forgotten. Their faces, illuminated by the dying embers of the fire, reveal a mix of fascination and fear. They came seeking adventure, a thrill to break the monotony of their everyday lives. Now they are caught in a tale of their own making, a tale that's far from over. As the last light of the campfire dies out, they realize they are not alone. The veil between our world and theirs thins. The spirits grow restless, their presence more tangible. As the moon climbs higher in the night sky, the haunting escalates, spiraling into a crescendo of spectral terror. The once familiar forest is now a theater of the uncanny, where the natural world and the supernatural blur into a chilling tableau of horror. The campers, once eager for adventure, find themselves ensnared in a ghostly waltz they never signed up for. Suddenly the unseen becomes seen. Phantasmal figures flit in the periphery of their vision, only to vanish when confronted head-on. Wisps of spectral light flicker between the trees, casting eerie shadows that seem to dance with a life of their own. The nocturnal forest is alive with the echoes of the unseen, painting a chilling panorama of the otherworldly. The silence of the night is shattered by whispers carried on the wind, their names called out from the darkness beyond. The whispers grow louder, morphing into spectral voices, their tone a chilling blend of melancholy and menace. The ethereal voices are everywhere and nowhere, their source as elusive as the spirits themselves. The campers feel the chilling touch of unseen hands, a spectral caress that leaves their skin crawling. The invisible touch is fleeting yet unmistakable, a terrifying reminder of the spectral presence that surrounds them. The sensation is chilling, a ghostly handprint left on their very souls. The fear reaches its peak, a palpable entity that wraps itself around the campers, binding them in a shroud of terror. Their laughter and camaraderie have been replaced by a silence as heavy as the night itself, punctuated only by the ragged rhythm of their breathing. The once adventurous campers are now prisoners of their own fear, trapped in a spectral circus they cannot escape. Their courage has deserted them, leaving in its place a primal dread that roots them to the spot. Paralyzed by fear, they huddle together, praying for dawn. Hours stretch into an eternity. The dawn they desperately wait for seems to be an illusion. As the moon hangs high in the sky, the campers are trapped in a perpetual state of night, their hopes of seeing the break of dawn dwindling with each passing moment. The forest around them is alive, not with the usual rustling of leaves or the hooting of nocturnal creatures, but with a more sinister chorus. It's as if the spirits are growing bolder, their spectral forms becoming clearer in the dim light. The apparitions are no longer fleeting shadows at the corner of their eyes. They are there, hauntingly palpable, their ghostly countenances twisted in a macabre display of the world beyond. The whispers grow into voices, not just disembodied sounds, but full sentences echoing through the trees. The words are chilling, tales of past lives and unfulfilled destinies, each story more horrifying than the last. The voices are no longer whispers in the wind, but screams piercing the silence, a chilling symphony of the damned. The campers' fear, once a palpable anxiety, now turns into outright panic. The laughter and camaraderie of their initial adventure have been replaced by the stark realization that they may not survive till dawn. Their minds race with thoughts of escape, but the forest, once a familiar sanctuary, has become a labyrinth of terror. Each turn seems to lead them deeper into the heart of the haunting. Their heartbeats pound in their ears, a relentless drum echoing their desperation. They clutch each other, their hands clammy with fear, their eyes wide and darting through the darkness. Their breaths come in ragged gasps, the icy air clawing at their throats. The spirits are relentless, their haunting cries growing louder, the apparitions more vivid. The forest is a stage for the spectral performance, the campers unwilling spectators to the horror unfolding before them. The terror continues to escalate, the forest morphing into a living nightmare. The spirits grow more restless, their spectral forms swirling around the campers in a terrifying dance of despair. The voices grow louder, the stories more horrifying, the apparitions more vivid. The campers are trapped in a chilling tableau, the spectral audience to a performance they wish they could escape. And then, just as the terror reaches its peak, a hush falls over the forest. The voices fade away, the apparitions disappear, and the forest returns to its nocturnal stillness. The silence is deafening, a heart-stopping suspense that leaves the campers frozen in fear. The spirits have retreated, but for how long? As the most terrifying night of their lives reaches its peak, the forest suddenly falls silent, leaving them in a heart-stopping suspense. The dawn they desperately wait for is still an illusion. a promise of safety that seems to be slipping further away with each passing moment.
Hit the subscribe button if you don't want me to come at night.